Вітаю вас на моєму YouTube каналі. Мене звати Сергій, і я продовжую свій марафон англійської мови по програмі, яку я формую, щоб це була системна, інструменти, які ви системно просто берете і застосовуєте безпосередньо для вивчення англійської. Сюди входить, по-перше, словник Анкі просунутий, де досить швидко створюються картки, причому не звичайні, там де у вас там зображення, можливо, приклади, типу максимум іде. А у вас розширений словник іде з одразу мнемо історіями, з зображеннями, з аудіюванням, можливістю написати, з купою прикладів. І це все побудовано на Анкі. Також у вас буде додаток для формування аудіоподкастів, де буде одразу йти озвучка самого подкасту, буде vocabulary формуватись, point of view, тобто точки зору, різні часи, різні погляди, наприклад, різної точки зору людей, переказ цієї історії, по якій ви будете займатися. Граматика по історії і questions and answering. Багато питань по історії і відповіді уточнюючих, щоб глибше зрозуміти суть оповідання, по якому ви займаєтесь. Крім цього, у вас буде ще додаток з проходженням самого марафону в штучному інтелекті. Буде також презентація, де буде описано необхідна, скажімо, послідовність занять по структурі, по спринтам розбита, плани на кожен день, що конкретно потрібно робити на кожен спринт. І плюс у вас ще буде дві контрольні форми, де ви будете записувати daily log, тобто які результати за кожен день ви отримаєте, і ретроспектива цього спринта по проходженню кожного дня. Для того, щоб можна було подивитися, що було добре зроблено, що не добре, які плани на наступний спринт. Це Scrum-методологія. Вона зазвичай використовується поширено використовується в роботі над проектами, в IT досить часто, але в навчанні вона досить часто теж зустрічається в розвитих країнах, в розвитих школах. Тому я її також застосовую, і вона досить ефективно покращує за кожен спринт, покращує ваші результати. Загалом ця методологія, цей марафон я створюю для того, щоб кожен міг вивчати мову, яку він хоче вивчати, легко через історії. Якщо у вас низький рівень володіння мовою, це історії не обов'язково мають бути цікавими, але вони однозначно вплинуть на ваш прогрес в майбутньому. Зараз в мене проходить 6-й спринт мого марафону, це останній спринт мого першого марафону. Якраз в кінці я здам контрольний екзамен, тестування і побачу результати, які в мене були на початку, які я зараз отримую. Але я зараз вже відчуваю, в принципі, що певні результати є, при тому, що можна сказати, що я не сильно багато саме займався, тому що багато уходило часу на підготовку більше. Тобто на формування конспекту, на формування додатків певних. Але крім того, є і результати по самій мові. Значить, давайте, що в мене на сьогодні? Сьогодні в мене другий день 6-го спринта. Вчора було аудіювання. Так, і, значить, сьогодні в мене день практики по планам. Сьогодні, другий день, як правило, це в мене розбір граматики, якщо там якась граматика, яку я ще взагалі не проходив, тобто повністю приділяти увагу саме новій темі, якщо є. Загалом ця історія, вона на past simple використовується, тому саме граматику я робити не буду. Вчора я робив аудіювання, і в мене було, я набрав всього 67 балів. Значить, тут є вправи які потрібні для покращення говоріння. Я сьогодні цим позаймаюсь. Також потім зроблю reading coach, прочитаю контрольно цей. І потім ще, скільки в мене часу залишиться, я позаймаюсь з штучним інтелектом по граматиці вправи, які він мені запропонує. Так. До речі, якщо ви хочете отримувати такі матеріали, зараз, поки вони теж доступні вам, презентація, ще поки що тут не актуально, да? Скажімо, я зроблю велике оновлення, після чого, в принципі, закрию доступ, але зараз те, що є, тут є плани на спринти, розбивка по заданню на кожен день, ресурси та сервіси, якими я використовуюсь, є конспект, є промпти для штучного інтелекту, деякі є застосунки для генерації історії, синонімів, всі різні нейронки, якими я користуюсь. Також є посилання на міні-історії як ресурси для навчання, які можуть бути тут саме для англійської мови. Якщо вам необхідний такий матеріал, також ви можете долучатись до моєї групи, підписуватись, щоб отримати цю презентацію. Повністю безкоштовно, вона відкрита. Тут в закріпленому повідомленні ви можете отримати цей файл презентації, переходите, безпосередньо потрапляєте на презентацію. Так. Також тут відео презентації самого марафону, де я детально розповідаю, що як, моє бачення цього марафону. Це відео я записував на початку створення марафону. Кардинально, скажімо, воно не сильно змінилось. Просто я зробив певні уточнення, коригування, і зараз я відчуваю, що вже це в правильному руслі, воно, що висока ефективність буде від навчання. Значить, є конспект там і так далі, і тут є далі застосунки для генерації історії, для генерації подкастів, щоб швидко створювати такі подкасти. Я вам зараз покажу. Це мій вчорашній подкаст.
David and Emma looked at each other across.
Тут, скажімо, з штучним інтелектом, з генерацією, але мається на увазі, що у вас буде можливість швидко створювати теми подкастів, озвучка міні-історії, vocabulary до цієї історії, саме звук, да, ви зможете швидко генерувати, щоб потім включити на задньому фоні в плеєрі і програвався. Потім question and answering, point of view і граматика по історії. І цей подкаст, ці всі елементи, вони загалом вийшли приблизно на годину. Це залежить від розміру історії, від складності. І цю історію, цей аудіоподкаст, мінімум один раз на день за спринт. Спринт – це 1 тиждень, потрібно слухати. Для того, щоб максимально глибоко і пропрацювати словник, щоб це максимально глибоко лягло на підкорку, скажімо так, щоб вам легко було формувати ідеї, спілкуватись на ці теми і так далі. Значить, так, поїхали далі. Починаємо сьогоднішнє заняття. І починаємо з Elsa Speak.
Hey everyone! In this video, we're looking at 2 sounds that always create problems for English learners of all levels. I'm talking about the infamous TH sounds. Don't worry, it's not that scary. If you can pronounce these sounds correctly, your English will sound much closer to the pronunciation level of a native speaker. We'll start with a S sound. To make this consonant, put the tip of your tongue between your upper and lower teeth and let air flow out naturally. It's a strange sensation, right? If you look in the mirror, you should see your tongue gently sandwiched between your teeth and sticking out a little bit. Make sure you don't press your teeth against your tongue too hard. That will prevent the air from flowing out. What we're looking for is a relaxed position and a smooth flow of air. This TH sound is also voiceless. That means you don't vibrate your vocal cords to make this sound. Let's try this with a few words. Think.
Think.
3.
3.
Both.
Both.
Now, let's turn our attention to z. Once you can pronounce the th sound, making the th sound should be pretty easy. That's because both of these sounds have the exact same mouth position. The only difference is that th is voiced, so in this case, we must vibrate our vocal cords. Let's try it with a few words. This.
This.
That.
That.
Father.
Father.
One of the problems with the TH sounds is that they can be easily mispronounced. This generally happens when you don't have the correct tongue position. So let's have a look at some of these mistakes. First, if your tongue is inside your mouth and high, it might accidentally touch your upper teeth and create a t or a d sound instead of a th, like in tank or den.
Den.
If your tongue is inside your mouth and low, you'll make a s or a z sound. It will sound like sank or zen.
Then.
The correct position for the th is between the high and the low. It's a middle position where your tongue sticks out between your teeth, like in the words thank and then. Okay, let's finish with a few phrases using both types of ths. Thank you for the birthday present. I'll have to think about that.
I'll have to think
We
about
both
that.
enjoyed meeting your father this weekend.
We both enjoyed
Great job, everyone. I hope this tutorial has... Let's finish. Thank you for the birthday present.
Thank you for the birthday present.
I'll have to think about that.
I'll have to think about that.
We both enjoyed meeting your father this weekend.
We both enjoy meeting this father this weekend. We both enjoyed meeting your father this weekend.
Great job, everyone. I hope this tutorial has helped you become a little less... Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to explore the three sounds w, v, and b. Now, these three sounds require very different lip and teeth positions, so we're going to take a look at how to pronounce them correctly. First, let's start with w. To make the w sound, round your lips tightly into a small circle, then move them apart as you shift into the next vowel. If it's helpful, you can imagine yourself grabbing a pen or pencil with your lips, like this. W.
W.
Let's try with a few vowels. W.
W.
We.
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 Make sure you don't touch your teeth to your lips. If you do, it might sound like v instead. Let's try some words. Wet.
Wet.
Watch.
Watch.
Website.
Website.
Now, let's turn our attention to v. To make a v sound, rest your upper teeth on your lower lip and blow air out smoothly. Make sure you don't stop the air completely by pressing your teeth too hard against your lower lip, because this might make it sound like b instead. Also, remember that v is voiced, which means your vocal cords vibrate. Let's focus on this vibration as we say the next few words. View,
View.
video,
Video.
variety.
Variety.
Finally, let's take a look at the B sound. To make a B, close your lips to stop the air from coming out, then release it. B,
B.
B, B. Make sure you close your lips completely because if you don't, it won't sound right. The B sound is also voiced, so make sure your vocal cords are vibrating before you open your lips to release the air. Let's practice with a few words. Bet,
Bet.
bring,
Bring.
behind.
Behind.
Okay, let's make this a bit more difficult now. Using this sound triangle as a visual aid, let's practice saying these three words in a different order each time. West,
West.
vest,
West.
best.
Best.
Okay, let's switch them around now.
West.
Vest,
West.
best,
Best.
west.
West.
And finally, best,
Best.
west,
West.
vest.
Best.
Let's finish up by practicing a few sentences. Her vest is wet.
Your vest is wet. Your vest is wet.
Living on the West Coast is the best.
Living on the West Coast is the best.
That video has 1 million views.
That video has 1 million views.
Great work, everyone. You can keep practicing w, v, and b in the next module.
B.
In this video, we'll explore the differences between oo and These two sounds are often confused because they share similar sensations in height and roundness. Let's take a look at both in more detail. The oo is the more tense of the two sounds, which can lead people to call it a long vowel. It doesn't necessarily have to be long, but making it longer can be helpful when you're practicing it first. To make the vowel oo, you should bring the corners of your lips together so that your mouth is almost completely closed. In this position, your lips should be tightly rounded so that they make a small circle, like this. Ooh. Make sure your lips and mouth are tense. If they're too relaxed, it might sound like as in good. Another little trick is to think about sending your lips forward while you make the sound. Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Ooh.
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 Let's practice with a few words now. Two,
Two.
food,
Food.
group.
Group.
Now that we've covered the vowel oo, making the sound should be relatively easy. I like to think of as the lazy version of oo. So, start by saying oo, then gently relax your lips and tongue to make Let's practice this a few times. Ooh,
Ooh.
uh, ooh,
Ooh.
Let's try to keep the sound relaxed and short in the following words. Took,
Took.
could,
Could.
foot.
Foot.
Great! Another way to differentiate between oo and is to think of them as having very different heights. Think of oo as a really high sound, then relax into an which feels lower and more open. That way, the oo of food drops and
Food.
relaxes into the of foot.
Foot.
food,
food,
foot.
foot.
Shoot has a
Shoot.
closed oo, which softens to the of should.
Should,
Shoot,
should,
should.
should.
To becomes
To.
took when
Took.
you relax the oo and add a k at the end.
Took.
To,
To,
took.
took.
Well done, everyone. Let's wrap up with a few sentences. I took 2 books from the bedroom.
I took 2 books from the bedroom.
Should we buy some food?
Should we buy some food?
Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
I hope this video has
Okay, everyone.
Hello! I hope everyone's having a great time practicing with Elsa this week. Today, we're talking about intonation. What exactly is intonation? Simply put, intonation is the music of speech. It's how your voice naturally rises and falls when you speak. Creating peaks and valleys can help you convey emotions and express ideas clearly and in an engaging way. When you think about it, intonation is pretty simple. We intonate by making our voices higher in pitch and louder in volume. Remember what I said at the beginning of this video? I hope everyone's having a great time practicing with Elsa this week. I said the word great much louder and with a higher pitch because I was trying to convey a positive emotion. That's what intonation is all about. Sounds simple, right? Actually, knowing which words you should emphasize can be much trickier. So here are some tips to help you with that. In general, we want to energize words that carry the meaning of a sentence. We call them content words. They'll include nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. We generally avoid emphasizing function words in everyday speech. These are words that show grammatical relationships between words, like pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, and so on. Alright, now let's figure out which words we should energize in this common sentence. There are 2 important words in this sentence. Glad is an adjective that carries meaning and conveys emotion. We definitely want to emphasize it. Join is important because it's a verb that conveys action. Let's exaggerate that too. The other words in this sentence don't carry as much meaning, so we won't energize them. Let's try this sentence out loud now. I'm glad you could join us. Do you
I'm
hear how
glad you
natural
can
that
join
sounds?
us.
That's what we call word prominence, and it's the first and most important step to developing a natural intonation in English. In some cases, you can decide to emphasize a function word. Here's an example. He's not Michael's husband. That's Michael's husband over there.
He is not Michael's husband. There is Michael's husband over there.
In this instance, I'm stressing a function word because I want to clarify and point out who Michael's partner is. The end of a sentence is another place where we make changes to our pitch and intonation. There are 3 simple rules to follow here. 1. Say the end of common sentences softer. The very end of a sentence is rarely energized in English. Here's an example. I wasn't prepared for that. I
wasn't prepared for that.
said for that softly because it came at the end of the sentence. 2. Lift your voice at the end of yes or no questions. If a question can be answered with yes or no, you should raise your voice at the end of it. Here's an example. Doing anything nice this weekend?
Doing Doing anything nice this weekend?
You can answer this question with yes or no, so your voice should go up at the end of it. 3. Drop your voice at the end of questions that cannot be answered by yes or no. How's your weekend shaping up?
How's your weekend shaping up?
This question does not require a yes or no answer, so I drop the pitch of my voice at the end. Today, we covered basic rules on how to develop natural intonation in English.
Прикольно.
Hey everyone! Today I want to talk to you about a skill you'll need to develop in order to sound more natural in English. Fluency. Now, what is fluency? In general, fluency simply means someone's ability in a certain language. People will say, she's fluent in German and Italian. By that, we mean that this person knows both languages well enough to get by. But fluency has a slightly different meaning when it comes to pronunciation. It means someone's ability to express themselves easily while also being accurate in their pronunciation. So fluency is all about balancing accuracy and flow. So what can we do to achieve this balance? Well, the answer is simple. We need to practice pacing and pausing. Have you ever heard the expression, pace yourself? We use it to tell someone to slow down, to take their time. That's exactly what pacing is. Pacing is the ability to control the speed of your speech. So, how fast should you go? That's a tricky question. Many factors can influence the speed of your speech. Your English level, the person you're speaking with, even the size of your audience. On average, the natural pace for a native speaker is somewhere between 100 and 150 words per minute. To give you an idea of what this feels like, let's try a little experiment. Find a text that's about 125 words long and time yourself while you read it out loud. If you read it in less than a minute, your pacing is probably a little fast. You'll make some pronunciation errors as a result. If you took much longer to read the text, you might want to speak a little faster if you want your ideas to be clear. Making correct pauses can also impact the speed of your delivery and the clarity of your message. But it's often tricky to know where to pause. So here are 3 tips to help you with pausing. Tip 1. Use punctuation. In written English, punctuation will tell you exactly where you should pause. So be on the lookout for commas, periods, colons, and semicolons. Tip 2. The 5 words rule. Divide your speech into chunks of about 5 words and pause between each chunk. This doesn't have to be exact, of course. Some chunks might be longer, others shorter, and that's okay. Just make sure the words in each chunk feel like they belong together. Here's an example. We hired several designers to work on our website.
We, ha- we hired several designers to work on our website.
In this example, we have a chunk of 4 words and a chunk of 5 words. Both sections in this sentence make sense, so we can put a pause in between them if we want. Tip number 3. Pause between elements in a list. Here's an example. To make this cake, I need flour, sugar, eggs, butter, and baking powder. Making clear pauses between each item has helped me clarify the ingredients I need for this recipe. Ooh, I kind of want some cake now. I hope this video has helped you understand how you can use pacing and pausing to improve your fluency. Make sure you practice the skills we work.
Окей. Grammar. Ну, по граматиці, понятно, я там збивався.
Subject to cover in a short video. After all, there are almost 200,000 English words to choose from, and it's hard to know where to start. My goal today is to answer 3 questions often asked by English learners about vocabulary. Which words should I learn? What's the best way to learn new vocabulary? And how can I remember new words and use them effectively? Let's jump right in. Depending on your learning objectives, certain words might feel more relevant to you than others. For someone working as an accountant, you might prefer to learn words such as depreciation, margins, and expenses, rather than words like chimpanzee or infusions. In general, you should focus on learning words that are relevant to various aspects of your life. For example, the vocabulary you'll need at work or for your studies, words related to family life and everyday activities, or vocabulary related to subjects that interest you. The best way to learn new vocabulary is to observe and listen to fluent speakers as much as possible. You can listen to audiobooks or podcasts, or even write down a few interesting words you hear while watching your favorite TV show. Another great way to expand your vocabulary is to research synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same or similar meaning as other words. Here's an example. Christ the Redeemer is a big statue in Rio de Janeiro. The word big here isn't wrong, but it's generic. It doesn't tell us much. I'm sure we can find a better, more specific word to describe this statue. There you go. I just found 8 synonyms for the word big. The word colossal could be an interesting choice here. It means extremely large, which is much more specific than just big. Let's use that instead. Christ the Redeemer is a colossal statue in Rio de Janeiro. Just like that, I've improved the accuracy of my speech by searching for a synonym. There's a big difference between knowing the meaning of a word and being able to actually use it. That's why we divide someone's vocabulary into 2 categories: passive and active vocabulary. Your passive vocabulary is made up of words you understand but can't use confidently just yet. A word will move into your active vocabulary when you can both understand it and use it. So to finish, here are a few tips to help you activate your passive vocabulary. 1. Write down every new word and its definition in a notebook. 2. Repeat new words out loud and practice their pronunciation. This can help you remember new words more effectively. 3. Practice saying complete sentences which contain these new words. Adding context to the new words you learn can help you understand their meaning. And as a bonus, you'll have ready-made sentences to use. 4. To make sure a new word stays in your active vocabulary, use it as soon as possible in a conversation. I hope you found this tutorial helpful.
До речі, класне відео. З приводу словника. Получається, що велику частину якраз ми в рамках цього марафону можна вивчати, розвивати за допомогою історії тем, да, які ви собі додаєте, по яким ви навчаєтесь. Вони можуть бути цікавими, звісно, можуть бути не сильно цікавими. І також в Анкі словнику є четверта expanding, де якраз таки і вивчається на основі слова, яке ви додали собі в словник, можна вчити якраз таки синоніми. Тобто тут вправа з слова згадати синоніми. Так. Прав. Яка ще є? Коротше, не пам'ятаю.
Catch. Catch. Caught.
І можна пригадувати синоніми, які є. Тому, да. Синоніми класно розвивають. Так, що в нас залишилось? 32 хвилини до... Встигаю. David and Emma looked each other. Ні, почекайте, я не так хочу зробити, тому що в мене там не вистачає часу. Я його розіб'ю на 2. Хорошо, давайте прочитаємо. David and Emma looked at each other across the table. The young couple were happy. The food was delicious, the lights from the candles was soft, and the music was perfect. David looked at Emma's beautiful smile. All the pain of his last breakup disappeared. All his doubts and fears about love had gone. His hand reached out and touched hers. I wanted to ask you something. David searched her eyes. Could she guess what was coming? Her smile made him feel brave. She held his hand. Don't worry, whatever it is, I'll probably say yes. He felt so excited. He was about to ask the important question of his life. From the corner of the restaurant, a strange man watched them. He was very still and at his table. He held a menu, but he wasn't reading it. Instead, his good eyes looked only at the young couple. Back at their table, David suddenly felt nervous. Excuse me, he said to Emma. He pushed chair back and went to the toilet. As he looked in the mirror, he told himself, "Come on, David, come on, you can't do this, mate. She's crazy about you." Feeling ready, he went out of the bathroom. He almost walked into the extremely tall man who was watching by the door. The man's eyes were cold, bright blue. His face was pale with a sharp, pointed nose in thin, pale lips. "Oh, sorry," said David. "Which one?" the man whispered. He spoke with a strong and strange accent. David had never heard this accent before. For a moment, David was confused. When he realized what the other man meant. "Oh, this one," said David happily. "This is the men's toilet." David went back into the restaurant. He reached from the ring in a box in his pocket. It was time to ask her. The taxi ride home was wonderful. The happy couple discussed their future life together. They shared their sweet feeling about each other. "The night I asked you to marry me," said David. "The night I said yes," replied Emma. "Just think, your whole life together, sharing, caring," he began. "Loving, giving," Emma finished his sentence. They smiled at each other in loving excitement. "You are so wonderful," said David. "And you are absolutely beautiful," said Emma. "I have never met anyone so lovely and kind. I am so happy to put sin." They entered their blocks of flat, holding hands. A tall man watched them from the shadows. "Which one?" he asked himself. He watched the building. He was waiting for a light to come on to show him which flat was theirs. 1 minute passed, 2. There it is. The light went on in a third-floor window. He saw Emma for a moment as she closed the curtains. How many times had he stood on a corner like this? How many victims had he watched? How many corners, many victims. His pale lips formed a thin smile. He moved out of the shadows to the door and pressed the buttons for every flat. The vampire was always passed when people lived in flats. Sooner or later, someone always let you in. Silly humans. They thought you were someone's pizza delivery. It was a kind of invitation, and that was all they need to enter a home. He climbed the stairs on the third floor and walked down the hall. He didn't make a sound. He could hear the young couple laughing and talking. He put his eyes against the door. He could hear what they were saying, and he was happy. Young love made the sweetest blood. It was so full of life and energy. I feel as if I'm in a film," she was saying. "More like a dream," he replied. "Yes, a dream. How lucky we are. Guess who will be dreaming about tonight," he said. Who? Her hair smells of roses. She is like an angel." Так. Their dreams was about to become a nightmare, the listening vampire thought. Suddenly he opened the door and stood there, showing his sharp teeth. The couple screamed and then held each other in terrified silence. The vampire could smell and taste their fare. This was how he liked it. Fare also made a blood sweeter. There's my wallet. There is my wallet on the table. There, take it, said David. Take anything you want. I will take anything I want, the vampire replied. Fine, you won't stop you. I promise, David replied. You won't stop me, I promise, replied the vampire. The light shone on the sharp teeth. A terrible thought came to David and Emma at the same time. Look at these teeth. Is there a vampire? Which one? The vampire hissed. It can be only one. The couple's eyes were big and afraid, their mouths open in horror. They held each other's hand and their stomach filled with fear. Already tonight, continued the vampire, I have drunk from 3. One more, then I can sleep and feel young again. The vampire moved towards them. Instinct made David step in front of Emma to protect her. Emma gratefully held onto his back. The vampire wasn't in a hurry. He had plenty of time. Who should he attack? He asked himself. Which one? Thank you, Emma, Emma saying quietly in David's ear, for what you are doing for me. Of course, my love. I'm here to protect you. He felt proud as he said the words. He could fight with this vampire. All he needed was a piece of wood or something to push through the herd. He looked around for something. You are so brave to offer yourself, continued Emma. Sorry? Asked David. What are you talking about? Oh, said Emma. I just thought that was with your love for me and everything. David and the vampire looked at each other. Now, listen, Emma. There is no doubt about my love for you. Really? She replied. She didn't believe him. But you can't expect me to just give him my life. I wasn't saying you should, she said. It's just one of our options, that's all. Well, think of another one, he shouted. Why don't you offer yourself to him to save me? The atmosphere in the room had certainly turned ugly. The vampire was not pleased, and the fear and love were now silly, selfish arguments. Emma was very angry. I hope you're joking. Let's see how strong your love is. What a horrible man. What about the woman I was planning to marry? Offering me to a vampire like a bone to a dog. You say my hair smells of rose, she cried. All right, relax. David was a little embarrassed to be having this argument in front of a stranger. I'm an angel, you said, she cried on shooting. Must drunk, shouted the vampire angrily as he came ever closer. He wanted to make a quick kill. Then he could get away from these terrible people as soon as possible. His eyes opened wider and his teeth were bared. Which one? Here, David pointed at his future wife. Him, screamed Emma, and in anger. Please, him. The vampire approached David. She's younger, sweeter, said David. The vampire turned to Emma. He's bigger, there's more of him, she pointed at David. Suddenly, the vampire felt tired. He had been killing for many centuries. Listening to them was depressing. How could he feel good by drinking the blood of those disgusting creatures? He looked down at their terrible faces and shooted bad blood. With that, he disappeared into the night air and left Emma and David alone together as they had promised for the rest of their lives. Так, значить, в мене результат по першій, а я так побачив, ну? – 87, тут 89. Ну, коротше, в середньому 88, так? Хорошо. А до цього в мене було... Я так не побачу. 73. А, ну тут я не повністю прочитав. Окей. Ладно. Значить. Так, і в мене залишається 17 хвилин. Чудово. Я ще зроблю трошки граматики. Це past теж, по-моєму. Це перелік. Predicate. Participle. Не понял завдання. Reach out. Ну, типу досягати. Тянувся, да? Обери правильні слова до перекладу. Не понял. Sharp this. Банк. Finger. Is. Зараз роблю перевірку помилок і, в принципі, на сьогодні все. Past continuous was about to. Спеціальна структура для вираження дії якогось ось мала відбутися. Ну я це щось взагалі не проходив. Там же ж з вінговим закінченням. А я поняв. Так, ще раз. Past continuous. Да. Ну, коротше, це якась окрема підтема. Бо, звичайно, там з інговим закінченням. Треба буде розібратися. Past simple, бачите, діє в минулому. Past simple, participle, open it. Четверте, що там було? Present perfect. I have drunk from 3. Present simple. Present simple. Кросовчиковши словникові вирази плюс речення переклади. He was about to propose when someone interrupted. They saw The short is the sound. Is short is. Мгм. А, прикольно. Тобто це як ідіома ж. Ми собі додамо. Так. Ну що, прикольно. Я взагалі здивався, в мене раз помилка. І от тут я не поняв. А все інше прям чотенько. Не знаю. Круто. Круто. Дякую за увагу. Дякую, що дивитесь, підписуєтесь, лайкаєте. І до завтра.